Hi, and welcome to the Axis Direct Opening Bell, your essential pre-market podcast. In just minutes, get key global updates, overnight trends, and market-moving factors that set the tone for the day. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just someone tracking the markets, this is your go-to briefing to stay ahead at all times. So let's dive straight in.
Good morning on a Wednesday, and we will start with US stocks, which finished at record highs, boosted by a significant downward revision to jobs numbers that bolstered expectations of aggressive rate cuts from the Fed. The S&P 500 closed 0.3% up at 6,513, while the Nasdaq 100 rose 0.3%. Still, some investors think inflation remains a risk, and therefore producer prices and CPI data releasing inside the next 48 hours will be closely watched for additional cues on how that situation is evolving. In related markets, the VIX dropped 0.5% again for its fifth successive daily decline, while the dollar index and the 10-year treasury yield both recovered. Gold climbed to yet another record high of $3,674 an ounce as Israel struck Doha, targeting senior Hamas leadership, but gave up its gains rapidly and closed 0.3% down, while Brent prices ended above $66 a barrel on the potential for yet another geopolitical flare-up. Meanwhile, the rupee rallied 0.2% along with most Asian peers as the probability of a Fed rate cut next week intensified. The currency finished the day at 88.11. In other news, President Trump said that he's looking to put additional tariffs on India and China for supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but only if European nations do the same. Speaking stocks, and the Nifty ended 95 points higher at 24,869. The India VIX fell 1.4% to 10.7. Mid-caps and small caps also rose but underperformed the Nifty. 8 of the 12 NSE sectors gained, with IT and pharma climbing 2.8% and 0.9% respectively. Realty was the worst performer on the day as it fell 0.3%. Infosys topped gainers as it rose 5% on news that the board is considering a buyback proposal in 2 days, while Trent dropped 1.8%. Technically speaking, the last 4 sessions have seen two-way volatility, and the candle real bodies have continued to shrink. A trending move is most likely only if 24,981 breaks on the upside, or if 24,405 gives way on the downside. Meanwhile, provisional data showed that foreigners invested over 2,000 crores yesterday. The month to date outflow now sits at just under 5,800 crores. On to derivatives markets, and the Nifty's put call ratio went from 0.95 to 1.13, while the bank Nifty's remained near 0.95. Nifty put addition was more than the call addition that was seen, and implied volatility fell 10 basis points, which means people stayed bullish at the close but were not aggressively positioned for gains today. For options set to expire on 16 September, resistance lies between 24,900 and 25,000, while support falls between 24,700 and 800. Elsewhere, 1% out of the money call volatility fell while similar distance put volatility rose, and that means volatility traders bought some downside protection. Speaking net index options activity, foreigners and retail investors were bearish, while proprietary traders were bullish. Elsewhere, foreigners' net shorts in index futures fell slightly to 189,000 contracts. Looking forward to the day, the GIFT Nifty opened flat. Asian markets were in the green, while US index futures were mixed. Speaking stocks, Sobha Developers was at horizontal support, while CEAT and Inox India were at horizontal resistance. Craftsman was at trendline support, while BPCL, HPCL and BSE were at trendline resistance. Talking NSE 500 breadth, 39%, 48% and 57% of stocks were above their 50, 100 and 200-day averages. PPI data will be released from the US later today. That wraps up the day's podcast. Please note that this podcast serves solely for informational purposes and should not be considered financial advice. For a comprehensive disclaimer, please visit our website. Thank you, and we will see you tomorrow at the same hour. Have a good day.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.